Hello, Stitchy friends. Welcome to my little YouTube channel of FlossTube. My name is Joanne, and I am the Eclectic Stitcher. I am from Central Florida, and yay for this weather! My goodness, the last few mornings it's been in the 55, 58 temperature, and by 10 o'clock it gets in the low 70s. Whew, it's been great. It is so nice. I have my windows open, air's flowing through this place. It is just a beautiful, beautiful Florida weather. So thank you, Mother Nature. Um, Anyways, today is Saturday, November 1st. Yeah, November 1st. Can you believe that? We're almost at the end of the year, y'all. And it's great. I'm loving it. Um, Welcome. So if you're new here, thank you for stopping by and checking me out. Hopefully you will find something that you like. I know that there are so many floss tubers out there, which by the way, this is a channel all about cross stitching. Um, if you're a returning user, not user, viewer, returning viewers, hey y'all, thank you for coming back. Love you guys for continuing to stop by. Thank you for continuing to like my videos and commenting. I love interacting with you guys. So thank you. I wanted to stop by today and record a video. I have a few whips, which are works in progress that I wanted to show. It's been about 3 weeks. I like to record at least every 3 to 4 weeks if I can, because by then I know I'll have at least 5 whips that I have touched in that time period. So I just wanted to come by and share those with you. First of all, as far as things have been happening, I did attend a fast retreat, which is hosted by my LMS, which is Crafty Framers in Largo, Florida. It's about a 2-hour drive for me, but I love going there. I love Miss Peggy and Miss Anna and Rick, who is Peggy's husband. They are the owners. I just love being with them. I love going to the store. And so Miss Peggy hosts what she calls FAST, F-A-S-T, Friends All Stitching Together. And it's a one-day retreat, usually goes from about 10 in the morning to 4 o'clock in the afternoon. And usually she has about 75 people that attend. And it's just a great event to just be with Stitchers, seeing what other people do, and she really just does a good job at hosting these retreats. So I attended that a couple of weeks ago, and I think that's all I've participated in the last 3 weeks. Jingle Ball, you guys, if you have not heard about Jingle Ball, Lindy Stitches, staff from Lindy Stitches, she is the host for Jingle Ball. That retreat, it's an online retreat. It is the first weekend of December. I think it's the 5th, 6th, and 7th. If you are not signed up for Jingle Ball, go check her out. Go check her channel out. She can tell you all about Jingle Ball, but it's just an online retreat where you can go visit all kinds of stitchy rooms, stitch with new friends, stitch with old friends. She has entertainment videos. She has 12 designers that will have classes. Now, I will say a lot of the kitted classes are probably sold out by now, but you can purchase a PDF pattern of the class chart and attend the class. She will have entertainment videos, speed dating, so just all kinds of fun things. She does this every year in December. I do believe this year is probably her 4th or 5th year. So I will link below in the show notes Steph's YouTube channel and website. Go check it out. Hopefully, if you do decide to attend, the ticket to get into Jingle Ball to partake of all the events It's only $15. Oh, and she'll have greet and meets with each designer where they'll spend an hour talking to us. And she'll have an online shop. So each designer will have a spot in the online store where they will sell their exclusive for Jingle Ball. So check it out. I will link it below. And who knows, maybe you'll see me in one of the Stitchy rooms and we can chat, get to know each other a little more. But it does run for 3 days. The rooms stay open 24 hours during that weekend. So you can log in at any time in a 24-hour period and you are most likely going to run into somebody. So check it out. Get your ticket. As of today, I am not participating in any classes because I know eventually in the next Jingle Ball next year, they will release those patterns if I'm interested in those. There are a couple patterns that I think are really cute, but I personally just like to pay the $15, get into the Jingle Ball, and use my money to buy some charts at the store if I find something. I don't always buy things, and I do know that in a year they will be released to the general public. So, I've got a lot of charts, so it's not like I need any more, but sometimes I see something that I'm like, oh, I want to buy it. So I will link that below. And that's it. So let's get into what you're here for, which is the stitching stuff. Before I show you my whips, I do want to show you two FFOs. Now, if you've been here for a while, you know that one, I have a lot of whips. Right now, I think my count is up to, it's still in 64, 66. So I have a lot of whips. I do stitch on a project. When I select a project to stitch, um, I will usually stitch it for anywhere from 2 to 3 days. After that, I just change it up. I have to switch it. I need to do something else. Not that I don't like that particular whip I am working on, but I have so many whips. I have to touch every one of them. Sometimes I will hold one in my Q snap for longer than 3 days, but it just really depends on my mood. I stitch on what I want, when I want. I'm not a seasonal stitcher. I will stitch Christmas in the middle of summer. I will stitch 4th of July things in December. I am not that type of stitcher. I just stitch whatever. I do use a random number generator. I have all my whips listed in a spreadsheet and they're all numbered. And so I would just select a number and say, okay, I'm going to stitch it. If I don't like it, I'll pick another number. Speaking of which, so in the next month, before the end of the year, I am going to do a FlossTube extra video. I have had people ask me, how do I store my whips? How do I, in some of my Discord group or Zooms that I join in, we share when we're in there talking about stitchy things, we share different things that we use to store floss, our whips, and things like that. And so I like talking about how I do my craft room, how I do my stitchy things. I love to get ideas from other stitchers. And there's been times where I'll change something to, because oh, well, let me try that. So I think for me, it would be kind of cool if I did a FlossTube extra showing you all that from the sheets I use to where I store things to I want to go through that in a FlossTube extra video. I think that probably with the amount of things I have, it's probably going to be a good hour, but I'm definitely going to keep that under an hour if possible. So look out for that. I am definitely going to record something in the next month, probably in December. So I work for a state college here in my town, and this year we have 3 weeks Christmas break. Wow, that's awesome. I don't know what I'm going to do with myself because I've never had that much time. My prior job, I worked for at 15 years. If you wanted to take a week off, you had to use your personal time. You guys, 3 weeks off of school work. So I do have a to-do list of things that I want to do. And one of those things is I want to record a FlossTube extra of my stitchy room. Not so much my stitchy room, because this is it. What you see here, this is it. But how I store things and how I organize my stitchy stuff. So if you're interested in that, if you're interested in getting ideas, I have sheets that I use for different things to track, from my stitchy projects to stitch alongs, and I am open to share those things with you if you want them. It's a simple, I have to figure out how to put that into the notes. I don't know if I can upload a document, like a Word document or PDF document. um, I'll figure that out. If not, you can always get a hold of me by email or through Instagram, and I will share whatever you want. I will share with you. That's what we're here for, to learn from each other, share ideas, and use each other's ideas. Don't care if you take one of my sheets and change it around and do something else. I don't care. But that's what we're here for. We're a resource to help each other out. So anyways, with all that being said, let me get going with my stitchy stuff, because I've been running my mouth for now 11 minutes, and you want to see stitchy stuff. But I do want to show two FFOs. And like I was saying earlier, I stitch a lot. I don't finish a whole lot of things as often as I want, but when I do, I don't fully finish. That is not my thing. That's as far as I go when it goes to stitching. So I send my stitchy things that I finish to Miss Peggy at Crafty Framers. And I say to Peggy, Peggy, I'm mailing this to you. Do whatever you want with it. Whatever comes to your creative mind, do whatever you want with it. Only one exception: no pillows. You might say, well, why doesn't she like pillows? Well, it's not that I don't like pillows, but pillows is just not an easy thing to display. I don't have a dobo or anything like that. I do have some projects that she's done for me with pillows, and I'm still trying to figure out where to put them. Right now, they're just sitting in a basket. But I take my stitchy stuff to work. Anything that she finishes for me, I take it to work, and I have a bookshelf at work where everything is displayed. Which reminds me, I need to make sure that I share that bookshelf with you. So I got to figure that out. Um, I don't edit my videos. I have not learned to do that. I have not taken the time to learn to do that. I know that there's programs out there that will do it so easily. I just like recording and going. Go with it. As long as I don't say anything crazy or nothing comes out of my mouth that's crazy, it gets recorded, it gets uploaded, and boom, we're done. So I will have to figure out how to share my bookshelf with you so that you can see my other finished stuff that I've had in the last 4 years that I've been stitching. So June of 2025 was exactly 4 years that I've been stitching. So not new to stitching, but it's still under, the 5-10 year mark. So I still feel like I'm a, rookie at this. But I love it. I enjoy it. And okay, yes. So I'm just going. I don't know why I'm talking so much. Let me show you what I have as an FFO. So I received this bag with a stitchy project about a month ago from my Discord group. It was a giveaway that we were doing for the Biscornu that we were stitching. And it's one of those bags that you buy at Amazon. Those zipper bags. They're good durable bags. Well, I don't mind using the bag, but my bags need to look pretty on the outside. So I did tell Miss Peggy, I says, I'm sending you a bag. Please finish it like you do, because she does these leaves for them. And all I said to her, so the project that I have in this bag is a Tiny Town, Harvest Tiny Town. And so because I have that stored in here, it's all kitted up. I thought, just give me something fall-y, make something that's fall related. And this is what she did for me. Is that not the cutest bag? It is simple, but so cute. And Miss Peggy knows that I am simple. I'm not very particular about what. I just said, just give it something fall-y. And so that's one of my FFOs. I love it. No, there is no stitchy project on here. She really wanted to put like a piece of fabric here so that I can stitch on it. I said no, because it's going to stay there forever with nothing on it. Okay. So this is not a stitch project that she finished for me, but it's a stitch bag. So I'm calling it an FFO. Now, this next one I'm going to show you is an FFO because I finished this project about a month ago. I'm going to show you the top part. This is Liberty. And I forget who the designer is. Let me see. Give me 1 second. Okay. So this is Liberty by Little House Needlework. And Miss Peggy finished it on a piece of flatboard. And she says to me when I go pick this up, she says, I didn't know if you would like it in a box or not, so I didn't tape it down yet or didn't hanker it down. And I thought, well, of course, Miss Peggy. I said, I don't have anything in a box. And so she got this from her shop. She had this laying around. And she says, well, good. Here, you can have it. There's nothing in the box now. I don't know what to put. She was a little concerned with this piece here with section here. She wanted to, cover it. I said, no, leave it. It's fine. It's perfect. I love it. And so there is my second FFO. So I am going to take this to my office. I don't know what to do with it. My thing was probably thinking, well, maybe I can put candy in here and put it on my desk, but I don't want people touching it to open it. So I don't know. It's probably just going to sit on my bookshelf like this and just look pretty because I love it. So those are my FFOs that I've acquired in the last couple of weeks. All right, let's talk whips and let's get going. Let's get this rolling. This first whip is called ABC Fall Sampler, and this was designed by Lisa, who is Lost in Stitches Design, and she is from Canada. And I just love this. I love the way how this chart looked, and we were getting close to Sampler September, and I thought, I'm going to get this and stitch it for Sampler September. I am stitching this on a 28 count even weave, and it's just a color white, and I am using Classic Colorworks. I just chose my own two colors, which is just Rust, which is that orange, and then the black color is actually, yes, it's Blackbird. Okay, and when I last picked this up, I had the A completed, and then I had the border up to there. So I stitched all this, and I came over and I started this heart here. And like I said before, normally I will pick up a project for about 2 or 3 days. I think I was working on this for about 2 days, and I decided if I don't stop now, I'm just going to keep going, and I just really wanted to get some other stitching done. So that is ABC Sampler. This next project, I've been working on this for a little bit. Oh, by the way, I did not start this year. This I started last year for September. So it's been a work in progress. It's been around for about a year. So for a little over a year now. So as you can see, I don't put a whole lot of progress. So it will take me a while to get them done. And I'm okay with that. I am a process stitcher, and I just like the process of just working on a whip. This next project is called American Eagle by Twin Peak Primitives, and I got this from their website back in 2022. This is from their Twin Peak Primitives Patriotic Ornament book in 2022. I have been working on this for a little while as well. For my birthday, which is in July. Here, let me show you the progress while I'm talking. So this is where I am. So in 2024 for my birthday, I wanted to stitch patriotic charts. And so last year I started this piece, and I did do other ones, but this one here I really like. I am stitching this on the 25 count Lugana or even weave color potato. I love this fabric. I purchased this piece of fabric because Beth, who's the steadfast stitcher, she's always talked about how much she loves this fabric, and I thought, hey, I want to try it out. So I bought it for this, and I really love it. Now, I took this piece to fast a couple weeks ago, and of course, when I'm at a retreat, I do more talking and socializing than actually stitching. But I had worked on this back in July when I was at her other retreat, and my goal was to finish the outline of the bird. And I didn't do that. So when I picked this up at FAST, that's what I did. I finished the outline and then I started working a little bit here. So I was successful with that. So now this is going to be more of a just fill in. And I'll probably work on this probably during one of those, probably Jingle Ball. I'll pick this up because it's easier to fill in when you don't have to count and you can sit there and talk. I still have to stitch the white in this flag and still need to go down here and do his feet. So I still have quite a bit to go. I'm not sure if I'm going to stitch the stars out here. I haven't decided that yet. I am going to stitch this down here, but I'll decide that once I get the rest of the stuff done. But I really like stitching on this, and hopefully I can get this done soon. So there is that. I will tell you that the chart is a little bit difficult to read because it's really small, and even though if I tried to blow it up, it just comes out really blurry. So that's been a challenge for me. I love stitching him, but it's been a challenge to stitch. So I have to find a way to make that a little bit easier for me so that I can enjoy it and just keep going. But shouldn't be too bad now. Now that that was the hardest part, getting those wings outline, because there was so much of 2 here, 3 there, 4 there, 1, 2, there was a lot of that. Those things are not straight. So, but I love that. I like working on that. This next chart I've had for a while as well. So here's the thing. In the last couple of weeks, something came to me that said, you know what, Joanne? You've got a lot of older charts. Let's stitch on those. Let's get those whips. Let's make some progress. So for about a week or two, I wasn't even randomly picking charts. I was going in my box and going through, and I kind of know, okay, what's old. When I mean old, 2021, 2022, maybe 2023, but mainly 21 and 22. Anything I started in 21 and 22, I was grabbing out that box and stitching on it. So this is one of those charts. This is Let's Talk Stitching by Hands on Design. And I started this back in May of 2022. Basically, I just saw other stitchers showing this chart, and I thought it was a cool chart. I enjoy doing charts like this that has words and things like that. Stitching words goes fairly quickly, but sometimes it just doesn't go as quickly as we want. And I'm not going to sit there and just stitch words. I jump around. So I didn't get a whole lot of progress on this done. I actually, this floss card here and this floss card here had to be finished. Now, as you can see, I'm supposed to stitch some floss there. You can see there's a gap there. Yep, that's where my floss, and that's where the floss goes. And guess what? When I started stitching on this, I just went to town. And then when I got done, I'm like, crap, I didn't stitch this correctly because I didn't leave a gap there. So yes, I have to fix that. Usually when things like this happen to me, what I do is I just cut out the few the few X's that are there, and then I find a way to weave them behind so that I'm not frogging everything. I just cut out the little bit of pieces, and then I can anchor it down and it's fine. So when I last picked this up, I did that section. I stitched this. I wanted to finish the word scissors, but then I realized I no longer have, I ran out of that white. I didn't have that white in the bag, and I didn't have it in my stash. It's 38.65 or something like that. So I have to buy more white so that I can finish this, or finish the word and then keep going. So I kind of just stopped there. I didn't want to, I do like to jump around. Um, but when you don't have the right colors, and I was not going to try to pick another color that kind of look close to it because I just don't like that. I feel like if I put a different white on there, you're going to see the difference. So I didn't even try to do that. But I do like this. Like I said, I do jump around on it. I'll stitch a couple things here and there. But I want to get this done. I just have to just take it out more often and do it. And I don't know, you have to be in the mood. And sometimes I don't have to be in the mood. Sometimes I just start stitching it, sometimes I have charts that I'm like, I don't want to stitch this. But once I start working on it, I'm like, oh, I can do this. That's what I go through with that and some of these older charts. And that's why they have not been touched in almost a year. This is another oldie. This is called How Does Your Garden Grow by Caterpillar Cross Stitch. This was a mystery style that they did back in 2022. And when I first heard about this, the floss tuber Chris Cross Stitch, he hasn't done a floss tube in a while. He's had some life things going on. But Chris Cross Stitch was really talking about this, and he partnered with them somehow. You know how they do things where, hey, talk about my stuff and we'll give you discounts. So I actually bought the kitted project from Caterpillar Cross Stitch, which came with the chart, the floss, and a needle minder, which actually, this is what the needle minder looked like. It's this little guy here. And so I bought the kit with the fabric and all that, and then I worked on it. Now this last time when I picked it up, I actually finished his outfit. I stitched his hat, and I stitched those three raindrops. Again, this is one of those charts that, I see it and I'm like, I don't want to stitch on that. But once I started stitching, it's like I wanted to keep going. But I also want to give time to my other whips, so I don't want to work on it for more than 3 days, just because it's personal preference. Now, this is stitched on a 14 count Ada by Swigar, and the color is Misty Blue, and the floss is just DMC floss. So there he is. He's cute. And this was Garden Grow style stitch along. So of course they had a stitch along. I didn't keep up with it. I don't keep up with stitch alongs. They are start alongs for me. I will start anything if I don't have to really keep up with it. And you know what? There is no cross stitch police. So if I don't want to keep up with it, fine. There are some groups that, may require certain things that you have to keep up with. So if you do, you do. If you don't, you don't. That's your choice, in my opinion. This is another old chart. This one's by not Caterpillar, excuse me. This one is by Fat Quarter Shop. This was a 5-part release that they did back in 2021. And it's called Autumn Beauties. I am stitching this on a 14 count Aida by Lori Holt. So this is an Aida that I bought from them back then, back in 21. The color's oatmeal, and I am using, not DMC, I am using the Classic Colorworks. I actually have the floss that came with this, which is Classic Colorworks. I did decide to use the word. Now the chart comes with 3 different options: fall, y'all, autumn, and something else. I don't remember. Well, I decided to go with the word fall, y'all, because I thought it was cute. This is where I am. And when I last picked this up, I filled in this wheel and I stitched these pumpkins. Now I picked this up because Laura, who is stitching by the shore, every October is she does a, excuse me, let me see what it's called, birthday pumpkin sal. And so in October she encourages us, if you want to join, to stitch a whip with pumpkin in it. And so I picked that up just so that I can stitch this and be able to join in on her sal. Now I do, when it comes to borders, as you can see, this is, not even 3/4, well, about 3/4 of the way. I will stitch on the border as I go. I have not stitched on that border for a while, but I do need to get that going and all that. But yeah, I just kind of stitch as I go when it comes to borders, and then I'll just kind of pick a section where I want to stitch and what I want to do. So there's that. Let me put my papers together so I don't lose them. Okay. This next whip, I have not been keeping up with it. This is called Halloween Hijinks by Carolyn Manning. As I said earlier, I am part of not only, I'm sorry, my hair is just, I'm part of some Zoom groups, but I'm also part of a Discord group that is run or hosted by Goose, who is Denise. And so the ladies in that group, we do challenges and we do events and activities and things like that just to keep us motivated, stitching, do different things. And so on October 1st, they started this stitch along or start along. And the goal is to stitch 1 block a day, and with the plans to finish in like 6 months. Okay, I wanted to join. This is a lot of stitching. I wanted to join because I thought, each block, so I'm talking about the blocks on the inside. Now the hats on the top, those are additional that you'll stitch, whenever, but the goal is to stitch 1 block a day. As you can see, my blocks are not only half done, but I don't even have 30 blocks in here, or 31 blocks for the month of October. But that's okay. They are half done because when I started this, I didn't kit it up fully. I just got floss that I had in my stash. And so a lot of the floss, like the colors up here, I don't have, so I haven't stitched that. So when I go back to Michael's to get some colors, I will pick up the floss and then I'll go back and fill that in. But I'm kind of like that. I don't know. I just, when I start things, if I don't have all the floss, if I have everything else, I'll stitch all around it. I don't care. I just jump around. There's no rules. Now, I am stitching this on a 16 count Aida. The color is pewter. And I'm just using DMC colors. And there's my progress. It's really cute. The colors are really cute. I really like stitching on, well, I like stitching on everything. That's why I buy it, But I need to pick it up. And the thing is, the way, because I thought, I can probably, instead of doing a block a day, I can probably do like this is my Saturday stitch, and then Saturday I would just catch up for the week. That didn't happen, but that's okay. I still work on it. All right, you guys, we're at 35 minutes, and I have one more whip to show you. This is actually one of my favorites, one of my favorite designers, as a matter of fact. This is the Wizard of Oz tree by Tiny Modernist. And I started this. This is also an oldie one. I started this back in April of 2024. Ooh, excuse me. Don't know why all of a sudden I feel like the light's not good. And this was just a new release for a Nashville Needle Market that they do every March. And this was from 2022. I just saw it. I wanted it. Growing up, I remember my dad showing us the movie The Wizard of Oz. It's one of his favorite movies. I love it. And I thought, oh, I can stitch this and give it to dad. So there it is. This is one of those charts where, again, I kind of jump around. I haven't finished this, but when I pick this up again, I stitch this part here. I finished this line here, and I stitch these, and I do believe I stitched those. So it's just one of those that I just kind of, when I pick it up, I just go wherever. When I pick it up again, I may go down here, or maybe I'll just go down here and stitch the other leg, or I may go up there. I don't know. I just go wherever. Sometimes that can be difficult to do because if you're not careful, you might forget a little motif or something. There's little stars out here. I don't remember if there's stars in here, but I don't see any stars there. So when I pick this up again, I really have to look and see, did I forget something before I keep moving up? And I am stitching this on a 14 count Ada by Witchell. The color is Touch of Blue, and I am using the anchor floss. So when Cheryl, who's the Tiny Modernist, her charts usually has anchor floss and DMC conversion. This was the first time I had picked up a chart by her. When I saw the anchor floss at the time, Michael's is my only craft store out here. I don't have a Joann's, although Joann's is already gone. But I don't have didn't have a Joann's, don't have a Hobby Lobby or anything like that around. So Michael's was selling Anchor at the time, and so I just bought the Anchor floss and I went with it. And I like it. I don't have a problem with it. I'll stitch with anything. I use Anchor, Classic Colorworks, Weeks. I've done that. Usually I do that when it comes with a kitted project. Sullivan's is one that my LNS sells. Peggy sells Sullivan's and is cheaper. It's like 50 cents a skein. So a lot of times I'll do Sullivan's, which is equivalent to DMC in my opinion. The numbers are the same when it comes to DMC and Sullivan's. I never stitch with anything fancy like silks and things like that. Don't really have an interest in that. I feel like if I get into stitching with those, that it's going to be very costly. So I keep things at a minimum. Okay. And you'll learn that about me when I do my FlossTube Extra, and you see some of the things that I use and why I do some of the things that I do. But that's it, you guys. I don't want to keep rambling. We're almost at 40 minutes. And if you know me, I like to keep things between 30 to 40 minutes because there are a lot of floss tubers out there. I have lots of videos to catch up on. I think I'm on 22. There's 22 in my queue right now, so I got to catch up to them. I'm going to get to stitching, watching some FlossTube. Tonight, one of my Zoom groups is getting together. We get together once a month and we stitch and Zoom. And so I'll do that tonight. And yeah, so that's all I got for you guys. Thank you so much for stopping by. Thank you for liking my video. Subscribe if you like. You will get a notification when I post a video. And don't hesitate to reach out if you have a question, if you want more information. Let me know. I am open. I love giving ideas. I love talking about the things that we love to do. Let's do it. Just reach out. I'm human. I'm just a person. I'm not another crazy lady walking around. So yeah, that's it. Thank you so much. Have a fabulous day. Stitch all the things, and I'll see you next time. Mwah. Bye.